and welcome back to another video. So today we're back here for another mansion build, finally. I know it's been a while since my last one, and today we're going to go ahead and build this clean modern mansion. So if you'd like to go ahead and download it for yourself, like normal, it is up on the gallery now. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and very exciting news, as you may have heard, the online gallery is now available on console. So if you play on Xbox or PS4 for The Sims 4, then you do have the online gallery available. So what I share on the PC will also be available for you on console as well. You just have to check that you have the packs for the build as well, but you have everything that I've built on PC now available on console. And also remember, if you don't have, you know, cross-platform play turned on, or you just play offline or anything like that, and you don't have access to the online gallery, as you know, over the last couple of months I have been sharing builds to the Sims team for them to port over to console, so you'll still have those probably around 30 to 40, maybe even close to 50, I can't remember how many I've shared, of builds available in the library section, like what you normally had before the gallery. So in there is loads of my builds there, so you could use those as well. Anyway, I'm rambling already. So today, like I said, we're building this clean modern mansion. I built this in Del Sol Valley on the 50 by 40 lot where the Bailey Moon household is, and then this build came in at 340,326 simoleons. And for the packs used today, I did use quite a few expansions, not so much of the other packs, but since this is my first mansion back, I kind of just wanted to do what I wanted really, without having to restrict myself so much. Now, as you know, what I normally do, even if I'm like, you know, not restricting my packs that much within a build, I'll still go back through at the end of the build to see if I've used like one item from one pack and I can remove that pack. I'll still do that, but I don't really think that's restriction too much for me. Anyway, so for the expansions I used, I did use Discover University. Now for this pack, I did actually originally just use the shower from it because I wanted to make like a walk-in shower sort of thing, which you'll see during the speed build. So that's really the only actual item I used from that pack. Now, since I really wanted to include that, I went back through at the end to add in a few more items from Discover University, just to kind of bump up the usage of that pack instead of just using the one item. I could have just removed that one item like what I normally do, but I really wanted to use that shower. So I did just go ahead and add in the bookshelf from that pack a few times around the build, just to kind of use that pack a bit better. And then for the other expansions, I did use Island Living, Get Famous, Seasons, and then I used City Living and Get Together. Now, it will say that Cats and Dogs is using this build, but for the first time in, I can't even think how long, I didn't actually use Cats and Dogs in this build, which, as you know, Cats and Dogs is my favourite pack that I use in pretty much every single build I do. So to not use it is kind of a big achievement for me. Anyway, so the reason that it does say that it has Cats and Dogs in the build is because of a glitch. Now, I did realise when I was going back through to restrict packs at the end that I only used one of the paintings from that pack and also something else from it, which I can't remember what it was. But anyway, so because I had so little items used from Cats and Dogs, I thought, oh, well, let's remove that for a change. So I went back through and deleted all the paintings. And when you click on the icon, Cats and Dogs, and click Show Used Items, the whole menu is blank because I didn't use any, but it's still saying that I used the pack, so I don't really know why. Maybe I used like a debug item or something. But if you don't have Cats and Dogs, then don't worry, because nothing is going to change unless it is a debug item, which would only be one of the cars, which I don't imagine would be the cars in the driveway. I don't know. Anyway, so that is the expansions I used, and then for the game packs I used Dine Out and Spa Day, and for the stuff packs I used Moschino stuff and Perfect Patio stuff. So again, like I said, not too much in terms of other packs, you know, games and stuff packs. But yeah, so I'm really happy how this build turned out. As I said, this is my first mansion back from my last one that I did, which was a while ago. So I have just been a little bit burnt out in terms of mansions, to be honest. As you know, I do one every single Sunday. You've seen this today on a Friday because I do start sharing my Tiny Living early access videos on Sundays. That's why you're seeing this today. But it is really nice to be back doing mansions again because, you know, it is my favourite thing to build in The Sims. And one problem I had a lot with mansions when I used to do them every week was trying to find ways to make them different, because a lot of them did turn out to be similar, you know, not exactly the same, but you would notice a lot of similarities between them, especially like in bedrooms. I always find it really difficult to make bedrooms different for some reason. I always end up doing the same thing. But anyway, so for this build, you know, coming back from them for a long break, I did really focus on trying to do things differently, and also since this is a modern build, it did end up being a little bit different than my usual traditional style of homes. So yeah, I'm really happy how this build turned out, and it took me about 2 hours or so to do this, so I think that's how long it took me in total if I'm not mistaken. So about the title of this build, like I said, a clean modern mansion, and when I went into this build I was thinking of just doing something kind of minimalist, the sort of theme I go for in all my homes. As you know, I do like to keep things fairly simple on interiors, not too cluttered, not too personalised. I like to keep things fairly neutral in my builds. So that was one thing I wanted to do in this build, but also because it is a modern theme, I thought it would be really good to kind of make use of that minimalist theme. And I don't know why, but I always think of modern when it comes to minimalist interiors and stuff. So that's kind of what I wanted to do for this build. So, you know, as I said, I do a lot of simple interiors anyway, but this is kind of even more so, but also just kind of keeping it very light in terms of the colour schemes on the interior, and actually the exterior as well, and just keeping things fairly simple and, again, clean. Not clean in terms of hygiene, but, well, I suppose that as well, but also just for keeping things open, I guess, and not feeling like you're suffocating in the home, because I know, so just think of the opposite of cosy in a way. But saying that, it is cozy in some areas, especially the bedrooms, are a little bit more personalised and things. So, you know, I wouldn't usually do clutter in builds, especially with one like this, but I did do clutter here and there, like on bedside tables and stuff, but that's really it. So it's kind of just a classic Thomas TV style of build, which I think is alright to do. I know sometimes people get annoyed when I do builds similar, you know, too many times, but it is my first mansion back, so I think I deserve it. Anyway, so with this build, I didn't really do any kind of personalisation in terms of what type of family would live here. I'd imagine it would be a fairly rich family that would live here because of it being in the Pinnacles, and actually the Bailey Moon household lived here originally. So because they lived here originally, I did kind of have them in mind whilst I was building this home. I wouldn't say that this is a house for them, but just having that rich family idea in my mind from them being in this house originally, in this lot originally, it kind of had that in my mind whilst I was building it, if that makes sense. So I'd imagine a rich family would live here. It isn't really built for kids, but as you know, that's kind of what I do anyways. And then once you have a family in mind for this build, then you can, you know, put kids' toys in the bedrooms and stuff if you want to. It just kind of keeps it open for more people to use the build that way, keep it neutral. Now, I did actually do a room in the basement. As you may have seen, I don't know if I've worked on that bit yet, where I put the windows in the pool. That's actually where the basement bedroom is, and it is a really huge room actually. And in there, I was kind of thinking it could either be the master room or for like a teen boy, I was imagining, like kind of wants to be away from the rest of the house, and he has like the big basement room, like separate from everyone. That's kind of what I was thinking as I was doing that. I know that's kind of a very different thing, being a master room or teen boys room, but you can make your mind up on that, and we'll work on that actually towards the very end of the build. So stay tuned for that though, because I really love how that room turned out, and you'll see that shortly. And like I was saying before, I was really trying to actively in my mind make sure that I was trying to do things differently in terms of bedrooms. The upstairs bedrooms, most of them, you will notice similarities from our normal bedrooms. And when I say that I want to switch things up in terms of bedrooms, I generally just mean like where the actual bed is, because it's normally just the bed and then a bedside table either side of it and a lamp on them. And I just don't know how really to make things very, very different. You know, I can add clutter here and there on the bedside tables instead of just having a lamp, adding like a seat at the bottom of the bed or something like that. But one thing I did do to switch things up in terms of the bedrooms today was actually make use of cabinets. Now, I know that sounds really weird, and I've done it before though, so it kind of just works well with modern builds, I think. So it's kind of just using cabinets as bedside tables in a way. I know it's really weird to explain, but you'll see it later anyway. So this is the kitchen here, as you saw, and this is the dining room attached to it, and this kitchen is actually huge. It's massive. I don't really remember doing a kitchen this big before. I've definitely done one this big before, but not in a while. But anyway, so it's just a perfect kitchen for somebody who loves to cook. It's like a dream kitchen for somebody who has that. And actually, speaking of that, I did actually add the chef's kitchen lot tray to this build, along with fast internet and party place, because I never do lot tray to my builds. I don't know why. To be honest, I just forget. That's really the reason why I don't put them in. But for today, I actually remembered to do it. I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and put some lot trays in. So I thought, having a huge big kitchen, it would be great to have somebody that loves to cook in this home. So I know I was trying not to do a personal build, but that would be, you know, maybe somebody that would live here would like cooking. But, you know, even if they don't have that, they have the really nice facilities to cook. So the chef's kitchen, you know, lot tray I think goes well with that. Fast internet, just because there's quite a few computers around the build. Some of the bedrooms have it, and there's also a study. So I thought that would be a good lot tray to have. And also party place, because I imagine people that live here want to show off their home. They have lots of space to have parties. So I thought that would also be a good lot tray to have. So I did that. So now we're just working on one of the bedrooms. Now I would imagine that this, even though all the bedrooms are pretty much neutral, I would say that this would be the guest room. So, you know, really any room could be the guest room because they're neutral, but this one I would probably say would be the guest room because of its location. I think it's the only one that's on the kind of ground floor, and it's also kind of out the way from everything else, if that makes sense. You have to like go through the garage to get to it. And now I say go through the garage, it's actually like a converted garage, and there is two of them. One here is being converted into a bedroom, and the other one is being converted into a gym, which I normally do in a lot of my builds. And then this room also has an ensuite bathroom, which I thought would be a nice thing to have, being a guest room. They have their own bathroom to use. So in this bathroom, I didn't actually do the kind of walk-in shower from Discovery University, and I know that that actual shower isn't a walk-in shower, but I made it with kind of glass windows. I think I have done it in one of the previous bathrooms before that, but I don't do it in every bathroom because some of them don't have the space for it. Anyway, so this is the living room, and it is a very spacious room actually. So they just have a nice modern fireplace and a little sitting area here, and it actually has a study area within this room as well, I think, and a few other seating areas around, just kind of fill up the space. I always find it difficult sometimes to fill up rooms that are that big, other than just kind of making multiple seating areas. I think that's the best way to fill them up, to be honest though. So this is the study here, not the biggest room, but there are lots of other study rooms within the build as well to use. And also, I totally forgot to mention, in the basement, along with that extra bedroom that also has an ensuite bathroom, there is actually a cinema room in the basement. So originally, like I said, I wasn't going to do a basement, but then I saw that pool area and how windows would look nice, you know, within that, for like a bedroom down there. So I ended up adding on a basement area. So I thought a cinema room would be a nice addition because it's a very fancy mansion. And sometimes with, you know, big mansions like this, I like to have like multiple living rooms, and I could only really fit in one, so I thought that would be also another good idea to add in a cinema room, so it's kind of like two living rooms in a way, which I know is totally overkill, but when you think of like mansions, I don't know why saying that it has two living rooms just adds a lot more fanciness to it, so that's why I went ahead and did that. So we'll work on that again later on, like towards the end of the build. I do that last. And yeah, so this room right here is maybe the master room. Again, you could maybe say the one in the basement is, but this one was another one I would have in mind for a master room. It is fairly spacious, it does have its own study room, and it also has its own ensuite bathroom. And I think a lot of the rooms in this build do have their own ensuite bathroom, maybe apart from one or two of them, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, so like I was saying before, Tiny Living is coming out in a few days time. I will also be doing a giveaway for that as well. I know I haven't posted it yet. Normally when a pack's coming out, I do post it a little bit in advance, so you can have the pack for, you know, the release date. But I'll actually be most likely posting the giveaway video tomorrow, and the EA Game Changer Network is providing the giveaway code for that, so thank you to them. So like I said, that'll probably be tomorrow when you see that video. It'll only be like a minute long just explaining it, and you'll enter through that video as well. So yeah, that'll be coming tomorrow, and I'm not too sure when I'm going to end it. I don't know if it'll be coming out maybe the day after the pack releases, just because of me posting the giveaway so late, but I'll just have to wait and see, and I'll work that out. But yeah, so Tiny Living is coming out. Let me know if you do have any ideas that you want to see. I do have the pack now, but I haven't had a chance to actually play it yet because of me doing this build today, Friday the 17th, which is also the day it's going up, which, as you know, I don't like to do builds this late from the going up. I do like to have like a day in advance for builds and stuff, but we're pushing it a bit later today, but you know what, it's manageable, so we'll get it done. But anyways, after I've done this voiceover, I can finally sit down and record some Tiny Living videos over this weekend. So let me know what you want to see. By the time I see this, I'll probably have most of my early access videos planned out, but you know, nothing wrong with doing some videos next week as well with the pack. So if you have any ideas, you know, let me know. As you know, I always say it's very useful when you leave video ideas for the future. And yeah, so we're just working on one of the bedrooms now. Again, this is a fairly large one, so this could also be a master room, and this also makes use of the cabinets that I was saying before. As you saw there, I did use it as a bedside table. I have done that quite a few times within builds. I think it was the mid-century modern mansion I did it the last time, and I think I saw my friend Mr. Olkin do that in one of his builds, and I thought it was a nice idea. It's kind of just like a modern looking item as well, and again, something a bit different for a bedroom, so I did go ahead and do that. Also, another thing I changed in this build was the roof. I don't know if you noticed that, but I did use like half walls as the roof, but then I actually changed it up and just kind of left it with the foundation piece, and then kind of extended that to make like an overhang and added on like a nice trim to finish it off. So I don't know if you noticed that, but I just something a little bit different. And I actually saw Leo from Freezer Bunny do this a little while ago in one of his speed builds. I think it was like a villa build, I can't remember what it was called, but I remember seeing him do this with the roof, and I thought it was a really nice idea, and I thought today with doing a modern build would be a good idea to try that out, so credit to him for that idea. And yeah, and also it's just another way to switch things up for roofing, because that's another thing that I always do with modern builds, is use half walls as the roofing, and I always struggle a lot with the exterior of modern builds. I think it's just because I don't do them that often. I always struggle kind of getting modern builds started, so I had a bit of trouble with that, and I thought that would be an interesting idea to switch things up and make it look a little bit different from my other modern builds. But yeah, so this right here is the basement room. As you can see, it is fairly large. I did kind of go for like a blue theme in terms of the wall coverings, just because I thought with it being, you know, looking out to the pool, I thought it'd be a nice idea to do that. And also, as you would have saw, the cinema room as well. And yes, that's it for today's speed build. I'm going to leave you here with the screenshots. I really hope you enjoyed. In the comment section down below, let me know about what you thought of it. If you have any more suggestions for other builds or anything else that you want to see on the channel next, that'd be really helpful to hear. You can go ahead and download this build from the gallery. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and like normal, there will also be a link in the description to the online gallery if you want to go ahead and download the build that way. Leave a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!